Now, we've heard this term used a lot, tons of YouTube videos about it. The term narcissist gets thrown around a lot. I've yet to coach a divorced single or someone who is in a relationship that broke up that doesn't say that their ex was a narcissist. Are all of these people really narcissists? So I want to unpack narcissism even more and create some tools possibly for dealing with one and for dealing with ourselves. Yeah, you heard that right. Because in actuality, all of us have a version of narcissism within us. Narcissism is selfishness, egocentrism. Now, there's healthy narcissism, I guess you'd say, because we have to practice self-care. If our cup isn't full, we've got nothing to give to others, so we got to take care of ourselves first. But there's always determining that line. When are you only caring about you and not caring about others? So a true diagnosable narcissist is someone who really doesn't have the capacity to truly care about someone else, to care about their feelings, their perspective, their opinion. And they're not typically willing to bend it all. And they're really great at making you wrong. And you'll notice about true diagnosable narcissist, they cannot be wrong. Can't be wrong. Another way you know that you're with a narcissist is you feel a little crazy. You feel a little confused because they flip everything around. And then you question yourself. And that's exactly what I find I need to do when I'm coaching someone who has been with someone who's a narcissist, is to bring them back to their self and their own values and remember who they are. Remember what's important to them. Because typically what happens, a narcissist will attract an overgiving person. Why? Because they can get away with their baloney with an overgiving person. An overgiving person is willing to do anything, communicate. They will do the work to make a relationship work. Unfortunately, though, they're with someone that won't. And they believe that if they just keep giving and being amiable and, trying to make it work, what ends up happening is they don't have any boundaries. And if they did have some, they got trampled on because they just don't have the strength to fight against the tactics. Let me tell you, those are some tough tactics to deal with of a narcissist. So if you're out there and this is resonating, the descriptions that I've given already probably do you well to get some help. And of course, you're watching this video, so that's awesome. Know that you're not alone and that the reason you were attracted to the narcissist is because they exude a confidence. And that's what you're lacking. And another reason behind the scenes of why a narcissist is attracted to you is because balance is trying to be created, yin and yang. And the narcissist needs to learn your kindness, your giving attitude. That's what's lacking for them. So that's the only real positive of it, is to see, oh, I'm lacking confidence. I need to get me some more of that. And of course, the narcissist needs more of that kindness, but they're typically not willing to do that because they would lose their power and control, they think. So I like looking at narcissism in this way. Two types. The first type I describe as the diagnosable narcissist, pretty much the one I just described. They're really not capable of honoring your thoughts, your opinions. They twist things, they make you wrong, and they cannot be wrong. They absolutely cannot be made wrong at all. And then I have a second type, I call it the wounded, everyday narcissist. Because what happens when we are still really trapped by our wounds is that we become very actually egocentric with our wounds. We begin to only think about ourselves. So that is the problem with not healing our wounds, not processing those difficult feelings. And I definitely recommend doing this with a professional because it's hard. It's hard work. And you can be guided and it doesn't have to be so painful, okay? There's ways to do it. But when we are stuck in our wounds, we are actually pretty egocentric because we're only seeing the world through our wounded eyes, that lens. So an example of this is one of the reasons I was motivated to really heal my stuff is I had this realization. I realized that all I thought about was me, who's hurting me, and literally it was like a hurt fest. I was just constantly concerned with my hurts and people hurting me. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of egocentric energy. And this isn't for condemnation. For me, it was a positive wake me up because I said to myself, I want to be more giving. I want to help others. And I realized I couldn't truly help others in a healthy way because I was so stuck in my own wounds. And I was so susceptible to overgiving, and I was susceptible to not having boundaries. And that's another typical thing that happens when we're stuck in our wounds. We really tend to become overgivers. And then we also become resentful because we're not getting back what we really desire. What's really typically happening is we lacked love in maybe our childhoods or a traumatic event or situation or relationship, and we just want to feel loved, and we're looking for it outside ourselves. We're not able to realize that it's all right here, that we have it. And that's another thing that counselors and coaches can help us do. Recognize we've got it all right here. All that wisdom is right here in our heart. Another way I help understand this concept of being an overgiver is the opposite, an overtaker, which typically might look like they have narcissistic tendencies. Now, whether that's the full-on diagnosable type of narcissist, I'm not sure. But you're going to see selfishness, and you're going to see someone that takes more than they give. Now, if you've got someone, though, that actually does have the capacity to listen, to give, they're willing to learn, they'll go take coaching or some classes or read books. They're probably not a diagnosable narcissist, but they might have those narcissistic, selfish type tendencies. And it looks very different standing next to an overgiver. But here's the deal. Overgiving and overtaking are equal vibrational frequency. It's not healthy to overgive, and it's not healthy to overtake. It's healthy to give and take in balance. And for the overgivers out there, you've really got to start with you and build some boundaries and stay firm with them. But typically what has to happen first is we've got to build you up. We've got to help you remember who you are, look at your strengths, and look at your limitations. All of us have some strengths and weaknesses to our personality types. And being good and okay with that and knowing that's why we need each other. That's why we have relationships. That's why there's yin and yang, because there's always that opposite that helps us out. So if you're with someone who's a little bit more of a taker, but possibly not the full-on narcissist, you can learn from their confidence, borrow that confidence, and hopefully they're willing to look at you and learn from your kindness, learn from your giving. And then relationship becomes this amazing tool to learn how to love. Love isn't something that magically appears on a platter and we just take it. Love is a verb. Love is action. Love is behavior. Love is a choice. In the beginning of your relationship, love is easy because it's mixed with lust. It's mixed with that fiery chemistry and connection. And then you realize over time, oh, living day in and day out with someone actually requires some effort. So let's do some self-reflection here. What's resonating for you? Do you tend to be an overgiver? Do you attract overtakers / narcissists into your life? And are these narcissists full-on diagnosable, not willing to budge an inch, and they turn everything around and make you wrong? I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I definitely say please get help so that you can be clear-headed and make a healthy choice, whether you stay with someone like that or not. I have yet to see a full-on diagnosable narcissist change. I've yet to see it. But the everyday type of narcissist, the overtaker that just needs to learn that they got to give a little more, yes, I've seen that change. I've seen that change a lot. So it's possible. And what really helps is if you can meet that person on equal ground and show where you both have work to do. This isn't about making anyone wrong. I don't know your personality type. I don't know the childhood you came from. The mixture of the two, your domestication, what you've been taught, experiences you've had, create you into the person you are today and give you the skill set you have. But most of us do need to reach out and learn more communication skills, relational skills, especially if we're leaning in the over range, the overgiving range, or the overtaking range. Most of us need a guide. So if you are the overgiving type, write a little bit about your frustrations and your feelings. Let them out. What are you frustrated about? What are your feelings about that? Do you know you need to create some healthy boundaries? Do you know that you need help with maybe some even languaging skills of how you approach your partner and share your needs and desires? Do you even know what your needs and desires are? These are great questions to ask. And when you ask them and wait for those answers, write them out, and that will guide you as to where you go next, which course you take next. Most overgivers, I need to start with learning to self-love. So I recommend the How to Value Yourself and Others course. It's foundational. It's amazing. And then the Authenticity course is a great one to follow up with that. And then How to Never Take Anything Personally, because overgivers tend to take tons of stuff personally. And it just goes from there. And if you are an overtaker, reach out to the overgivers in your life and ask them to help you be more kind and caring. Ask them to help you be more giving. Can you do it? Yes, you can. And I believe in you. You can do it. We're all really wanting to feel loved, valued, seen, and heard. And we do that with the exchange of giving and receiving. And it's learning to do that in the right balance. Okay, all my best to you as you navigate the topic of narcissism. Is it alive in your life? Do you find yourself leaning toward feeling like a wounded narcissist or egocentric in your wounds? Then you're in the right place. Keep going. And it's love of yourself, not condemnation, not judgment for being where you are. I love you for being where you are right now, getting the help you need. You've been operating your life upon your experiences, your personality, and what you know. And now you're learning more. You're understanding more.